Welcome to The Kitchen Table, a show dedicated to helping you escape diet culture, gain trust with food, honor your body, and live a brighter life. Hello and welcome back to The Kitchen Table. I'm your host, Alicia Brown, an anti-diet registered dietitian. And today I am so excited. We have a special and unique episode for you because I've got Chella LeMere here. I'm friends with Chella's sister, Maggie, who's a news anchor here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I was so excited to learn that her sister is also pursuing the RD to become a registered dietitian. But Chella's really interesting and exciting because she discovered intuitive eating in a very unique way. And she's going through the experience to become a dietitian right now, but she wants to infuse her learnings of intuitive eating into the process. And I want to talk with you here on the show, Chella, about your journey through to discovering how you wanted to become a registered dietitian, but also incorporate intuitive eating. But before that, a little bit more about Chella. She is a junior dietetics student at North Dakota State University, and she recently got accepted into the accelerated master's program there. And she'll be pursuing a career in the future in sports dietetics, specializing in eating disorders and intuitive eating. Chella, thank you so much for being here with me at the kitchen table today.
Thank you so much, Alicia. I am so excited and grateful that I can be here today and be here and talk to you about a topic that is so important to me and that I know that you are passionate about as well.
100%.
So, yes. And just kind of getting into some things that you were mentioning before. I have always been ever since I was little, been very passionate about food. I've just always really loved it. And just how how putting it in your body just makes you feel this fuel to, get you through the day. It's just something quirky that I've always loved. But going into high school and college and kind of the infusion, a lot of those fad diets and a lot of those macro counting and calorie counting, I kind of fell into feeling like that is something that I needed to participate in. And kind of coming into college, I was still, my freshman year, wasn't really in my dietetics classes yet. And I was still thinking that was kind of like the quote unquote right way to kind of approach having a healthy lifestyle. Unfortunately, I was able to overcome that by discovering intuitive eating through social media, actually. And that was during my sophomore year of college. And I finally realized I discovered those intuitive eating kind of principles because I started replacing, those health influencers, quote unquote health influencers with registered dietitians, just like you, Alicia. And I actually discovered you through my sister, as you were mentioning. And I saw on your page anti-diet dietitian. And I was like, that sounds cool. I kind of like that. What does that mean? Yeah. And so this is kind of how I discovered intuitive eating. And I kind of became obsessed because it is such a wonderful way of eating that I'm just so passionate about. It has changed my life. I mean, it's just, I was so sick and tired of, weighing all my food and counting every calorie and feeling like, what, is it ever going to be enough? And finally, I was like, I don't have to do that. I deleted my calorie counting app and it was like an epiphany. It was like, I'm so, moving it out. It's kind of like getting rid of old clothes that you don't like for whatever reason. It's just like, I'm getting rid of it. And when I finally did that and I really kind of went, head first in intuitive eating, I fell in love. I just learned how to, what it meant to be. If I'm hungry, it's okay to eat now. I feel like I kind of lost my sense of hunger cues and in the process of dieting. But yes, intuitive eating has become such a big part of my life. And I truly don't think that I would be where I am right now with it. So I'm so grateful for this community and everything that it has brought into my life.
Likewise. And I feel like it feels right to say welcome. I'm so glad that you found this. I'm so glad that you had these moments of epiphany and these moments of, kind of trusting and jumping into intuitive eating after being in the dieting paradigm for some time, because it seems like you've tried diet after diet, obviously loving food initially, loving how food made you feel, but kind of feeling like that led you into exploring food in the dieting sense, which kind of led to, as you were saying, maybe less enjoyment with food, losing track of hunger and fullness cues, relying on apps. And I think so many of us here at the kitchen table, we've been there. We've been in that dieting trap with the best intentions of being healthier.
Right. And it's scary kind of, I feel like it's like letting go of this mantra, just being like, you kind of have to unlearn everything that you yourself and society has conditioned you to believe about food and what you should think about it.
Yeah.
And it can be scary, but it's so amazingly worth it.
What are some of the things that you had to like unlearn, and what did you relearn about yourself in the process?
Oh my gosh. I had to unlearn that. For me, it was fat being in my diet. It is okay. It is okay. That was always my thing. I was like, less fat in my diet. But I'm a peanut butter lover. And I think the biggest thing that I learned was it is okay. It is okay to eat peanut butter. It is okay to cook with olive oil. It is okay to have that butter in my cookies. And I think that has been such a life-changing thing. It sounds so dramatic, but it's like, I don't need to always just have that, the low-fat peanut butter powder all the time. I think that was the biggest change. I went too long without peanut butter, and it's just one of those things. I feel like everyone has their thing, and my thing is peanut butter.
Oh. Yes. And I think that's so true. Everybody has their thing. For some, it's like bread. For a client I had, it was like specifically banana bread. She loved it, but she had given it up or cut it out for the sake of dieting and reclaiming authority and ownership over these foods you enjoy, as you're saying. So empowering. So I want to get into talking about your schooling right now, because I think it's interesting, like during our academic career, becoming registered dietitians, there's not a lot of talk about intuitive eating, the principles of intuitive eating. It's very much into the science. Does this feel true in your career path right now or your academic path right now? And did you find like intuitive eating was mostly through social media for you that you found it, as you mentioned, and the coursework is different? Kind of explain those two differences in your schooling as you become an RD.
Exactly what you said. Yes. And just to preface, I love being here at NDSU. I have nothing but amazing things to say about the dietetics program. So thankful for all of my professors. They're so passionate and they have taught me so many things.
Yes.
With that being said, it is very science-based. Of course, you have to take all of your biologies and your anatomy and all the good stuff. So I can understand how it's hard and difficult to kind of implement intuitive eating principles into the programs, especially when they're trying to teach you how kind of our body works and how it takes on the science of the pathophysiology of everything. But, I did find that intuitive eating was less spoken about in class because I had discovered it myself through social media. I have, we have, kind of dipped our toes into it a little bit in class, but I have, found most of my information through registered dietitians like you on Instagram talking about it and kind of preaching how amazing it is because it's so amazing. And I honestly can't imagine not getting exposed to it myself. And like I was saying, I feel like it is still such an up and coming subject because it is so taboo still, I feel like.
Yes.
And I can't thank social media accounts like yours enough because I would not be where I am today without intuitive eating. Because, who knows, I could still be weighing all my food and have those body image issues if it weren't for like this inclusive environment. I do wish that everybody knew about intuitive eating. And I think that the best way for that to happen is for registered dietitians themselves to be well-versed on this topic. So as a student and future registered dietitian, I am thankful that I know about intuitive eating and how I can implement it into my future career. But I do hope that it can be more exposed to students in the future.
My heart is exploding a bit. I agree on so many levels. Like, yes, like on one hand, like the science is important. We need to know the biology, like how food is assimilated into the body, digestion,
Right.
absorption, all the intricacies of cellular work. Like,
Yes.
we've taken like rigorous scientific courses. This is not easy, right?
I think that's a big misconception.
Yes. I think a lot of people think we're going to like weight loss school. I think people
Right.
think, oh, we're going to be dietitians. We are specializing in weight loss of sorts. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Yes, yes.
Say, oh, you're going to be a dietitian.
Yeah, I remember coming into college and someone was like, "Oh, so are you going to tell me the next best diet?" And I was like, just like my heart goes out for those people, because it's it's frustrating to hear that, because I get so upset with society making like it seem that way, but also like so much empathy for being that, for that like thought process, like it doesn't have to be that way, we're here to help you. And I think the biggest misconception that I realized from registered dietitians is that we're here to support you, and I say we, but I mean the future, to
Yes.
support you. And we don't care what's on your dinner plate. We don't care what you bring to lunch. Like it's so important to know all of the science behind eating, but I feel like it's so much more than that.
And I think that maybe is a piece of like what's missing, right? Like, would you say that
Yes.
across the board, intuitive eating deserves a larger place at the table when it
Yes.
comes to education about food and nutrition?
Completely. I think that it is so important to know as dietitians too, because like I was saying earlier, like we're the ones that are educating people on nutrition, which obviously is so important. But like if we don't get well versed on the topic of intuitive eating, how are we expecting society to adopt those behaviors as well?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think a lot of people look for us, for the advice, for the quick advice on a lot of like what to eat and how much to eat.
Right.
When really something interesting about intuitive eating is like we flip that over and we say, oh, actually, you are able, once you heal your relationship with food, to fully decide what, when, and how much to eat. It's almost like that concept of authority with nutrition is almost given back to the
Right.
clients or to the patient, rather than us sitting here and like our RD nutrition power telling everyone how to eat, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think we have to, like, I think people forget that, if you look at like little people that are like 2 or 3 years old, like
Yeah.
when they're done eating, they're like, okay, I'm full. And it's like, I think it's such a beautiful thing to kind of see, because it's like we have that capability. Like we can just, it's just the matter of just letting go of society's, all of their toxic, I don't know how else to explain it, but just like toxic information telling us we have to, eat a certain way, eat this way for your body type, eat only this much, don't eat that. But when in reality, just kind of just shove that all to the side and be like, it's your body, it's just listening to your hunger cues, what you're craving, what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Really that body attunement piece, as we talk about like
Yes.
what's missing from nutrition education, this how we eat conversation
Right.
like is so almost necessary. Less emphasis
Mm-hmm.
on the what, more emphasis on the how. But I think that that's different
Yes.
from what people are seeking us out for, right? As as
Exactly.
nutritionists, dietitians, I think people are looking for the next thing that fits their quote unquote body
Mm-hmm.
type, or the next thing that will help them
Right.
lose the weight. So this is a really huge paradigm shift. So for you and your future careers, you decide to specialize in intuitive eating. What
Mm-hmm.
do you see next for you as you help like shift this momentum, this paradigm towards this more intuitive eating focused society rather than a dieting focused society?
Yes. I plan to be a sports dietitian in the future, and
Mm.
I want to help because their eating disorders are so saturated in our environment today, and especially with athletes, because I feel like I myself was an athlete, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping that population specifically. But I feel like you are always told, you have to look a certain way. I was a swimmer, so it was like you're always in a swimsuit, and it's like you feel like you have to look a certain way, when really, like, you're fueling your body to train. And just like those eating disorders, I want people to know that intuitive eating is there for them, and that is an option to still fuel in the way that feels right and good. And kind of going off of that, I until then, I'm in the process of creating a website, and I'm so excited about it. I will have it out in a couple of months. It will be called nutritionbeyondnumbers.com. And my name is Chella LeMere, and I will be the owner of everything on the website. And it will be about kind of my journey with intuitive eating and body image. And I want to just kind of create an environment for young men and women who are maybe struggling with what I struggled going into college, those kind of miscommunicated ideals that you think that you have to have with nutrition just to be quote unquote healthy. And I just want people to know that, there's another way, and I support them. And I just want to build this environment where people just feel safe and okay to be, the fact that like food doesn't define them, and they can be confident in their body at any time of the day, regardless of what it looks like. If they feel good, and if they like, just to empower them to know that, their life can be so much more than just weighing their food and counting their calories and weighing themselves and, measuring their waist size. Like, there's just so much more. And through my website, when I become a registered dietitian, I'm hoping to be able to, help those people more individually. But for right now, just to kind of share what I've learned and maybe some misconceptions on the ideals of health and what I've kind of brought through my journey, hopefully to share with them, and hopefully they can take a piece of advice and help them through if they're struggling too.
We are all very excited for this platform that you're going to launch in the next few months, really detailing your journey and how impactful to share a bit, not about only your nutrition journey as you become a dietitian, but also how your own nutrition philosophy, how your approach and attitudes toward food have completely changed within that process as well. And I know that you're not alone, specifically in that shift from like high school to college to degree to career, to actually finding that even through all of the suffering and all of the pain that you've been through diet culture and finding intuitive eating, that it's serving this greater purpose for other people in the world. And I think that's incredibly inspiring. And this will be great for so many people. So we will be supporting that on my page in the coming months as you launch
Alicia.
that. So we're really excited for it as well.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to hear that, and hopefully I can impact some people along the way. Thank you for the kind words.
Any advice that you want to give to women today that are really struggling with food in their bodies right now? Oftentimes on the show, we talk about like food and body stuff, like the worries, anxieties, frustrations that we've discussed a bit today, like the things that really weigh us down and impact not only ourselves and our health, but also our relationships, our work life. What would you say to somebody right now who's really feeling like all of their food and body stuff is really weighing them down in life? Do you have a piece of advice for them or something that you might recommend to get started?
Yes, to begin, I have been there. I know what that's like to, when I was in the heart of, my dieting experience with, counting and measuring all my food, and you feel like you're never quite in control. I wasn't there for, my family, my sisters. And I, was not open to, being in a relationship of that sense, because I feel like I couldn't occupy my mind on anything other than my food and body image. And I just want those people to know that it's going to be okay. And, there is another way. There is another way. And it doesn't have to be like that. I know exactly what it is, what it's like to be there and feel like, you're just not enough. because it feels like you're never enough. You never fit enough, no matter how lean you feel like you are. You're just never going to fit society's ideals. You're never going to eat healthy enough. But the thing is, like, forget that stuff. Like, you are enough just the way you are, regardless of your body size, regardless of how you eat. You are so enough. And I want more women out there to know that they are enough just the way they are.
Thank you so much, Chella. I so agree. And I've been there too. And I think it's really inspiring for somebody to just know that we're even opening the door just ever so slightly to a method, a way, a framework that can help explore life completely differently, that there's another way. Incredibly inspiring. You are amazing. Really excited for your future work. Really excited for this future website. Really excited to continue this relationship and keep in touch as you grow into this like flourishing intuitive eating professional. We need more people like Chella in the world.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Thank you.
My smile is ear to ear. So one more time, drop the website that people can go to in a few months. Maybe they want to write it down. And after that, I'll just let everyone know that they can come back for our next episode.
Yes. Okay. It is nutritionbeyondnumbers.com.
nutritionbeyondnumbers.com. And do you have a social media that you want to direct people to?
Yes, I do. It is just a personal page at the moment, but anybody is free to follow. I share a lot of stuff on my story about intuitive eating, how amazing it is and how amazing it is. It is Chella, just my name, CHELLA _ like Coachella.
I love
how people remember my name. Chella like Coachella. And it is a public page. Please come and join my community. I love, love, love having new people to interact with on social media.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chella like Coachella. And for everybody else here at the kitchen table, take out your phone right now and first follow Chella like Coachella on Instagram, then pull up wherever you're listening to this podcast and hit the subscribe button. Ta-da! When you hit that subscribe button, you will not miss an episode every Monday and Thursday here at the kitchen table. Thursdays, we have bomb interviews like this one. Mondays, it's just you and me here at the table. So with that said, we hope that you have a super wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of it. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and we will see you here on Monday's episode. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Chella.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.